a ship named the Carpathia. She came into New York Harbor with over 700 of those survivors and tied up right here on the left. That's where the Cunard piers were back then. There were 30,000 people waiting to greet that ship. Now, all they knew is that the Titanic had gone down. They didn't know how it happened. They didn't know who survived or what. So a lot of people were there to see if their loved ones had survived. They take umbrage. Well, sorry, get back to the old place over there with the tower. That's an old railroad ferry terminal, and they're still using it. The trains come in the back, and the ferry boats go into the arches. Nice to see an old place being used like that. Because, you know, it's becoming more and more difficult to preserve things on the waterfront because the property is so valuable now to build on. Erie, Lackawanna, two American Indian names, of course. The great buildings of the world. And then right next to it, to the left of it, you see that straight up and down silver building, no frills. That's a brand new apartment house by the architect Frank Gehry. The building under construction, with the two cranes on top, is the Freedom Tower. Now, when it's complete, they say it'll be the tallest building in the country. They've got a little ways to go yet. And you can see that the outer wall is a curtain wall. It's not being used to help hold up the building. So that means the inner structure will be all the stronger. They are behind schedule, but that's another story. The angular tower were right in front of the towers. The towers, of course, were way over them. Now, these two were badly damaged in the attack, but they've been restored and they're functioning again. One on the left with the triangle at top, that's American Express. They took really a horrible hit. Now, just starting to come into view between the two of them is a round glass structure called the Winter Garden. Now, if you come down here, go into the Winter Garden. There's no charge. Your best overall view of the memorial area is from the back of the Winter Garden. Now, I recommend that you do come down here, especially if you're an American. Although not everyone was American who lost their lives that day, people from 58 countries died in the attack. It all happened right here. The other building that's under construction will be an office building, and it will not be a very high, not as high as this. The Freedom Tower, of course. Now, this is the oldest part of New York City, this lower end of Manhattan. This is the part that was New Amsterdam and New York under the British. The first capital of the United States was right here. George Washington was sworn in as president on Wall Street. The ground with all that weight, well, they're on bedrock. Some of the hardest on earth. Two buildings at the end of the island there, the one with the step-like roof and the one behind it, comprise the Museum of Jewish Heritage. And we're going out into the upper bay of New York Harbor on our way down to the Statue of Liberty. Millions of immigrants, once they were released from Ellis Island, went right there. You get on trains, you go all over America. So they're preserving it as a museum. We'll be going by Ellis Island in just a few minutes, coming up on the right. Again, everybody, this is the upper bay of New York Harbor. This is where the immigrants were brought. They say that as many as the Great Hall. That's been restored. And in there are the photographs, the exhibits. Out on the lawn, there are panels with the names of thousands of immigrants. Families contributed money to the Ellis Island Fund. A lot of this restoration is being paid for by donations, not tax money. The museum is open every day. Now, if any of you Yankee Doodles on board have an ancestor who landed here, they might be able to tell you the name of the ship the person arrived on, even the exact date of arrival. I don't have all the records, but I've got most of them. Try ellisislandrecords.org. See what they can bring up for you. ellisislandrecords.org. The architecture is different, but it was designed specifically for the Indians. Folks, when we get down to the statue, we're going to pass on your right explorer to come in the harbor. An Italian sailing under the French flag. The Verrazano Bridge is longer than the Golden Gate, by the way. The longest suspended bridge in the country. By the effect of the salt air on the copper. In her left hand is the Declaration of Independence. The date on the cover, July 4th, 1776. She was designed by Bartholdi, and the inner structure was built by Eiffel, the tower fame. The poem about the huddled masses yearning to breathe free was written by a native New Yorker, Emma Lazarus. There you see it. You may walk around the island, take all the pictures you like. You may go into the museum. Now, for the time being, the statue itself is closed to the public. As you can see, they're doing work on the outside and also on the inside. I don't know when she will be reopened again. I hope by the end of the month, when school lets out and the crowds can become tremendous. I don't know for sure. The French actually gave us the statue in 1876. It took 10 years to raise the public money to put her up. And they gave us the statue to congratulate us on 100 years of democratic government. Well, now we can boast 236 years of democratic government. Not bad, huh? Not bad. As we turn off on the right over there where the hills are is Staten Island. It's way over there, but it's part of New York City. It's a bigger island than Manhattan. It's mostly suburban. The Statue of Liberty does not belong to New York.
morning. There are some people over there already. Forward Governor's Embassy Tours.